1140 KYOK on roads. The legend continues. Here's A.J. Jones with sports on 1140 KYOK.
All right. It is the legendary KYOK, and is it 2017? Wow. Haven't talked to you all since last year. And glad to be here one more time here on the legendary KYOK with our sports talk show called The Lunch Break. If you didn't get hooked on us last year, well, let me tell you what you're listening to right now. Every Monday through Friday from 12 to 2, when you break for lunch, when you have to, we break with you, and we make it real easy because we call it The Lunch Break. I'm A.J. Jones, and again, glad to be with you in this brand new year. 2017 is here, and I say, come on, let's get it. Let's get it. I'm expecting great things this year, and I am not going to focus on the bad things. I'm going to keep my mind and attention on the good things because, baby, like Paul Jones said, all of my good days outweigh all of my bad days, and I won't complain. So I'm grabbing hold to that this year and running with it. But anyway, we're going to talk sports with you while you're eating or you're working out or, because everybody's in this whole workout mode thing, to start the new year. That's cool. That's fine. No problem with that. Right there with you. Going to drop some of these right here. Everybody's worried about their abs. I'm going to take care of my ab and see if I can't get it to kind of cut up a little bit. So even thinking about running a 5K this year. So I said it. I'm going to get it in. And, for those who don't know, that's how it's going to go. All right. But anyway, we're going to kind of keep things kind of the way that they are. We kind of changed our format, about midway through last year. We came on in May of last year, and probably about October, we had changed our format. And the format is going to stay the same for the most part this year. Monday is still going to be our Media Monday. That's still going to be anything that you see on your social media website that you want to talk about. Tuesday is going to be our Texans Touchdown Tuesday, as long as they're still in this thing. Now, if they get knocked out, then we might have to just turn it into Touchdown Tuesday until the Super Bowl is over, and then we'll go, a different direction from there because, obviously we got to talk basketball and all that kind of good stuff. But anyway, that's what we'll do on Tuesday. Wednesday is still going to be our winning day. That's the day you'll still have the opportunity to win tickets and gift cards and prizes and even money. But the new terms and conditions are if it's a gift card or a jersey or a prize or something like that, you got to come and pick it up. Got to come to the station here in Greens Point and pick it up. All right, so that's how you got to win it. Again, I know a lot of folks are like, yeah, but this, yeah, but that, yeah, but you got to come pick it up. Unless it's something that we can leave at will call. Like the football tickets or basketball tickets, you can pick those up at the stadium. If it's a game, like the Cougars or Longhorns, you'll pick those up at the stadium. But everything else, you got to come and pick those up. And you got a week to do it. So you got any day, Monday through Friday, from 12 to 2 when I'm here to come and pick it up. And then you got a full week to do that. So if you win it on a Monday, you got to get it by that next Monday. All right. So anyway, that's that. And then Thursday is still going to be our throwback day, but we're going to have a couple of nuances with that. We're going to do some additional things on Throwback Thursday, so stay tuned for that. And then Friday is still going to be my favorite day of the week. It's still going to be Freestyle Friday. That's where the show can go any which way it wants to go because it is Freestyle Friday. You can get Media Monday, Texans Touchdown Tuesday, Winning Wednesday, Throwback Thursday, all of those all in the same day on Freestyle Friday. Put the kids up because they could go there on Freestyle Friday. And then more than anything, I'm so glad that you made it into 2017. I know a lot of folks had a lot that went on in 2016. From our top 10 countdown, that there were a lot of great people that transitioned in 2016. But guess what? We made it. We're in 2017, y'all. We're in a whole new month. We're in a whole new year, and it just doesn't get any better than that. So I hope everybody can feel the excitement of 2017 and are embracing it with everything that it has to offer. Back in the day, man, we used to talk about shaking somebody's pockets I'm going to shake the pockets of 2017. We're going to shake loose everything that it has to offer and get it. So there you go. All right, so anyway, on this Media Monday, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be very transparent with you and frank with you for a second. I really wanted to take this day off. I really did. I really did not want to move out of my BED. I'm serious. I mean, it was a long New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, and I did not want to be here today. But when I saw all that went down in the NFL on yesterday, especially with your Houston Texans, oh, I knew I had to get up. I knew I had to get up. I knew I had to make my way to this station. I mean, and it was raining sideways in my area. I mean, upside down, lights went out, power went out and all that kind of good stuff. But didn't stop me, didn't deter me. I knew I had to get here and talk about your Texans because there are several things in the media concerning your Houston Texans. One of them is a report that, one of them is a report that I've got to give you. I don't believe it's true. I do not believe it's true, but I can't ignore it either. So I'm gonna turn your attention to it. In fact, if you're on our Facebook page, you can see it's already posted there. But anyway, I want to turn your attention to it, and we'll do that. Okay, so then we're going to talk about the playoffs because the playoffs are now set. We know who's going to play who. We know when they're going to play, and we know where they're going to play. So I'll give all that information to you as well. And then, of course, we got to talk about some phenomenal NBA action this weekend. That doggone James Harden might have stepped into a whole nother dimension. I mean, seriously, I might have to, not only do I have to apologize to the head coach, but I didn't know James Harden had all that in him. I'll tell you about that as well. And then, of course, we got to talk college football. A lot of games going on today with the big bowl games today. And then, of course, we got to talk about the college football playoff. One of my favorite teams got smashed. I mean, I have never seen them lose like that. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know where they go from here. I really don't. They truly had been one of the better teams of the year, but it didn't look like it over the weekend. We'll talk about that as well. And then more than anything, I want to talk to you. 281-453-1000. That's 281-453-1000. Need you to hit me up and let me know you're out there in 2017. 281-453-1000 or text me 832-949-4420. I'm looking around trying to find the text phone. There you go. I got it in hand. 832-949-4420. Or if you're checking us out live on Facebook, please post there in the stream. Let us know that you made it in to 2017. Amy Boucher Castro, welcome to the program. She's listening all the way from Ohio. Bengals got to win. How about that? There's that. I really don't think they need to fire Marvin Lewis. I know a lot of folks are ready for him to go. I got to tell you, Marvin Lewis is not the problem. I mean that. I know y'all are ready for Marvin to go, but remember, y'all are ready for Dusty Baker to go. He left, and the team got worse. So I'm going to just tell you, they might need another quarterback. Yeah, I know y'all like Andy Dalton, pretty red hair and all that kind of good stuff, but the dude is limited, and he limited them to a 6-8-1 season this year. Was that right? Did I get it right? 7-8-1. Yeah, that's what it was, 7-8-1. Anyway, we'll talk more about that kind of stuff, but again, let's go ahead and get this party started. Now, like I said, we're going to do some different things musically this year. I'm not going to battle with Facebook trying to get the video posted. So I'm going to have some different music, and we got a little theme song coming up. So you just keep it locked in right here. It's Media Monday, first Monday in 2017. I'm excited about it. I like firsts. I like to be the first at something. So here we go. I'm the first international sports talk show host on Media Monday on the legendary KYOK. How about that? Ha 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 ha. Who's going to be the first caller of 2017? Who's going to be the first texter of 2017? Who's going to talk about your Texans first in 2017? Hit me up, 281-453-1000. 281-453-1000. What's up with that Bill O'Brien? Oh, my goodness. We'll talk about it right here on the legendary KYOK. I'm AJ. Happy 2017. Hey, Dallas. Praying with you, girl. You're welcome, sweetie. Hang in there for me, all right? Need to see you soon, too. Should bring my baby to church Sunday. Oh, wow. Dallas. Hey, Yvette. What's she doing in Dallas?
Music is a bridge between the material and spiritual. My name is Harvey Lauer, and I'm 82. As a blind person, you have to be aware that nobody can tell you what you can and can't do. You really have to
These
try.
bottle tops, man.
My folks
It's
got
like they
me
put
a
too much
little
water in them or
radio
something.
in 1940, and that was the best Christmas present I ever got. When I was 11 years old is when I started to play music, play the piano, and then the accordion.
Why does it have to be messy to drink water?
My wife, who was also
Smart water, get your bottle together.
When she died, that's when I started Meals on Wheels. America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Hey, sports fans, this is
Well, you tell her I need her to come home. She's been there long enough.
our sports talk show here on the.
Hey, I shaved the beard off. What y'all think? Beard or no beard? Beard or no
Every
beard?
Monday through Friday from 12 to 2. And what we do, when you take your lunch, we take it with you. You're eating, and we're talking sports. Be sure to check out our new lineup on Mondays. It's called Media Monday. If you hear about it in the media, you read it, you see it, you want to talk about it, call us on Monday. Tuesday is Texans Tuesday, all things Texans. Wednesday is a winning Wednesday. You can win everything, including the kitchen sink. Thursday is Throwback Thursday. We're going to find out what the legends are doing. What are they doing now? And go back to some of the greatest moments in sports history. And then Friday, of course, is Freestyle Friday, right here on our sports talk show called The Lunch Break. Every Monday through Friday from 12 to 2 here on the legendary KYOK. Say, hey, 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 what you say? It's time for the lunch break.
There you go. There's a little, look, there's a little sample. There's a little sample of something, a little hey, hey, hey. What you say, it's time for the lunch break. All right, I'm AJ Jones, back with you on Media Monday, first Monday in 2017. And tell you what, interesting day in the world of sports yesterday. Very interesting day. Had a little NFL football going on, and your Houston Texans involved in a little, I won't call it controversy per se, but yeah, actually kind of will. What's up with Bill O'Brien? Remember, he said that 10 wins were of utmost importance. The Texans had to win 10 games. Had to play all of his starters. Well, not all of them. 6 of them were inactive heading into the game. Unfortunately, one of them was not. The new fan favorite quarterback. I call him T-Save. Tom Savage was in the game. And, he wasn't doing anything spectacular. They said they had to get him all these reps. Had to play him. And then they had a, 3rd and 1? Decided to go with a quarterback sneak. Tom Savage got hit pretty hard by a couple of folks. Sure enough, referees did what they are supposed to do. they pulled him out of the game to be evaluated for a concussion. And he passed the evaluation. Yay! Dodged the bullet. Woo! Brought him back in, allowed him to kneel down and get out of the half. And then all of a sudden they evaluated him again at halftime. Guess what? Didn't pass. Now he is out with a concussion and in the NFL concussion protocol, meaning he's got to be evaluated by independent people all week long. Guess what? Texans have a game that really does matter. You know, we don't need to be convinced by Bill O'Brien that 10 wins on your resume wouldn't have helped one single thing, would not have improved their playoff position. Losing did not cost them a playoff position. It was for you. But now there is a game that really does matter that everybody can see, regardless of whether you think it matters or not. It's called a playoff game. And it's going to be this Saturday at 3:30 Central. And guess what? The Oakland Raiders are coming to town. And I know not many people are worried about Oakland because they're now down to their third string quarterback. But guess what? You still got to win the game. You still have to win the game. They don't just let you win because the other team's down to their third string quarterback. The young man's still going to go out there and try and play. Their defense is still their defense. Their wide receivers, running backs, all those guys are still starters. You still got to go out and win that game. But you made it hard on yourself for absolutely no reason at all other than the fact that you thought it was important. There's so many different places that I can go from here. I just don't know what to say. I really just don't know what to say. I'm going to just be, again, transparent with you. You know, no sense in starting out 2017 lying. I'm just unimpressed with Bill O'Brien. I am unimpressed. And you know what? If you still are impressed with him, if you still think that he is the smartest coach in the room and the guy that, you know, you want running this program, more power to you. But I got news for you. Just like I said about the Bengals and Andy Dalton, I don't think the Bengals are gonna win a championship with Andy Dalton as their quarterback. I don't think this Texans team is going to go anywhere with Bill O'Brien as their head coach. I really don't. I mean, this guy consistently shoots himself in the foot, and guess what? And takes the team with him. Consistently. Now, I'm going to play this post-game stuff. I'm going to let you hear Bill O'Brien. You're not going to be able to hear many of the questions because on the road, they don't have the same equipment and everything that we have in the press box here or the press area here in Houston. But you can hear Bill O'Brien's responses and his demeanor. It just speaks for itself. It just speaks for itself. So hang on. Let me let you hear the head coach of the Houston Texans following the 24-17 loss to Tennessee.
We'll talk about that as a staff. We'll talk about that tomorrow and the next day. No.
Going off at halftime, you told John on the radio you got calm and started the third quarter. What happened? Did you get more evaluation, the concussion, or what happened?
I don't know.
Let's talk about the game. We'll talk about Brock.
He did a good job, you know. Did a good job, went in there and did a nice job for us. We just couldn't pull it out. I mean, we just sent him back out there to take a snap.
Bill, it looked like Tom was injured on PBS in the fourth morning, the quarterback sneak, and he was evaluated for a concussion right after that. With that situation, I mean, obviously, you said this whole week you're planning to win this game. You guys want to. Is it kind of a no-win situation? You're playing Tom to all your starters to win this game. He gets injured, and that's just football, or how do you look at it?
It's just football. I mean, you know, it's a contact sport, so you know, injuries occur. You know, he's not the only one that was injured today. So I don't know anything about the injuries. Just walked off the field. I don't meet with the doctors. They just tell me, what it is tomorrow, and that's it. So.
Yeah. So what are you paid for though? I mean, you're the highest ranking official down in that locker room and on that sideline. The general manager's not down there. The owner's not down there. The team president is not down there. So how is it that you don't know what's going on? I mean, I don't get that. And I got to say, fans, I love y'all. I love y'all. All you Texans fans, Renee and Byron Johnson Sr. and all the Texans fans out there, I love y'all. But how is it that you keep taking this every week? I mean, week after week after week. This is the guy who's making the decisions, yet he never seems to know anything when he makes a bad decision and somebody gets hurt. Or he makes a bad decision and it doesn't work out. He never knows anything. I don't talk to the doctors. I just walk off the field and they tell me what's going on. Then how don't you know anything now? I mean, better yet, let's go back to the bigger question. Why was Tom Savage in a game that did not matter? Why? After the first series, why was he not out? You were not going to gain anything by beating Tennessee. I said it all week long. The last week of 2016, I said it all week long that game doesn't matter. I don't care how much Bill O'Brien tells you 10 wins matter. The only place 10 wins matter is on Bill O'Brien's resume. And then sure enough, I said, I hope nobody gets hurt. And then sure enough, the starting quarterback, the guy that you brought in to save the day, the guy that even the owner said, wow, it was a gutsy call that he made the switch from Osweiler to Savage. Well, what kind of call is it now? It's not gutsy, it's dumb. Might have cost you your season. Now you're looking, you got a real good possibility of being another one and done postseason. And all you got is one word answers? Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know anything. He's got a press conference that's coming up at 2:30 Central. I don't know if I will be able to get that. I'll have that for you tomorrow. That's all I can say. I'll have that for you tomorrow. Let me get to another story surrounding this guy. Does anybody else want to hear more of Bill O'Brien? If you want to hear more of Bill O'Brien in the I don't know press conference, then let me know. I'll play it for you. 281-453-1000. I will play it for you. But I mean, can we not start off the beginning of the year with garbage? I mean, dude, if you don't like me, just tell me you don't like me early. That way I won't think you do, in June. I mean, come on. So here we go. Here's the story that I wanted to get to. That's kind of interesting. Let me get to the right place here in reference to Bill O'Brien. And I got to tell you, I do not believe the story. I don't. I'm going to just tell you right up front. It's Media Monday. I saw this on the CBS website, and I clipped it, and I'm going to read it, but I'm not going to. I don't buy it. Those are my exact words. I don't buy it. But anyway, here's the story. In a surprise move, this playoff team and its coach could reportedly part ways. There seems, and I'm sorry, let me give some credit to the writer, Will Brinson of CBS Sports writes, there seems to be some surprise coaching movement in the NFL once the end of the year rolls around. Gary Kubiak stepping down in Denver certainly qualifies, but there could be an even more surprising change on hand in Houston. According to Jay Glazer, a Fox Sports insider, Bill O'Brien and the Texans aren't guaranteed to stick together following 2016, even though the Texans are back in the playoffs for the second season, despite that 24-17 loss to the Titans on Sunday. In fact, here's what Jay Glazer writes. Jay Glazer on his Twitter account said, surprise opening could be Texans. If they lose early in the playoffs, I can see O'Brien and the team agreeing to part ways. Good candidate on market. Yeah, I mean, this is just me talking. I'm on this one by myself. I would pay another team to take Bill O'Brien. I would pay another team to take Bill O'Brien. because I guarantee you he'll be easy to figure out and easy to beat. I mean, I would send him to the Colts and face him twice a year, because I guarantee you can beat him twice a year. That's just me. I know y'all love him, and Bill we trust. But here we go. O'Brien's won 9 games in all 3 of his seasons with Houston, despite being hamstrung by the quarterback position. Can I just say something? Bill O'Brien wasn't hamstrung by the quarterback position. Bill O'Brien hamstrung himself with the quarterback position. Now, I will give him that first year when he came in. He had who? Ryan Fitzpatrick, Case Keenum, those guys. I'll give him that. But what did he do that second year? That second year, he brought in who he wanted. He sure did. He drafted who he wanted. He drafted Tom Savage, remember, in his first draft. And then that next year, he brought in Brian Hoyer and Ryan Mallett and said we could win with these 2 guys, and he shipped Ryan Fitzpatrick out of here. Remember that. Now, how did he get hamstrung with bad quarterback play when he handpicked the guys that he wanted to win with? Both of them had played under his system. Both of them. So, I'm sorry, Jay Glazer or Will Brinson, I can't give you credit for him handpicking the wrong horses or handpicking the wrong dogs, or call them what they are, handpicking the wrong quarterbacks. And then, what did he do? When he was told to go out and draft a franchise quarterback, he and what's our general manager's name? Rick Smith went over and got Brock Osweiler. When they had Dak Prescott in the building, he was in the facility. They had Dak Prescott. They met with him. They worked him out. They ran him through the drills, and they sent him home. Hey, don't call us, we'll call you. And as soon as he closed the door, they leaned over to each other and said, let's go get Brock Osweiler. I'm sorry. I am not going to give them credit for being hamstrung with the wrong quarterback. No, they picked the quarterback that they wanted. And they brought a guy in who played in a grand total of 7 NFL games. 7. Now, you can say that those 7 games are 7 more than any rookie would have played in. Absolutely, you're absolutely right. And he did help a team get to the Super Bowl. But what did Bill O'Brien do with the kid when he got him here? Did he put an offense around him that worked? No, he put his offense around him. And it didn't work. And instead of him being a real coach and coming up with something that did work, he got into a shouting match with the kid. He got into a shouting match with him in front of all of his peers and all the other coaches. Yeah, it sounds like he really got hamstrung. Poor him. Give me a break. Man, Bill O'Brien, did somebody forget to tell me that Bill O'Brien was a nun and that we got to treat him like he's a nun? He's a head football coach, for Christ's sake. He's not, well, I'm not going to say. He's not a good one. Anyway, here's what the rest of the thing said. Bill O'Brien's won 9 games in all 3 of his seasons with Houston, despite being hamstrung by the quarterback position. After a bad loss to the Chiefs in the playoffs last year, the Texans inked Brock Osweiler to a hefty contract. The presumption around the league is that it was an ownership-driven signing, but O'Brien still bears some of the blame for Osweiler struggling, whether or not he actually likes Osweiler as a player. Until, this is me talking, until somebody who was in that room tells me that Bob McNair told Rick Smith and Bill O'Brien to go get Brock Osweiler, I will not believe that that was an owner-driven decision. I believe with everything that is within me that that was a Bill O'Brien decision. That Bill O'Brien said, hey, forget the draft. Let's get this guy right here. He was the one that saw him practice when they practiced together. He was the one that kept an eye on him. He said all throughout the process, I have followed this guy through college. Nobody else followed him through college. Heck, I remember seeing Brock Osweiler at Arizona State because he was 6'8". That was the only thing that drew my attention to him. I don't remember him being highly recruited out of Idaho, which is where he's from. So if you've been following him since Idaho, you like him. You don't follow somebody you don't like out of Idaho. So I don't buy it. Man, I do not buy that for one. It's 2017. Can we just be honest with each other? All right, let me get the rest of the story because again, I don't believe the story, but I got to read it. Let's see. Given the nature of the contract handed to Osweiler, he's locked in as a member of the team through 2017. If Houston loses again in the first round of the playoffs, it's possible both sides could be interested in making a change. And if that becomes the case, Glazer is correct that Osweiler will become a coach who generates plenty of interest from multiple teams given his success despite the quarterback situation in Houston. Take him. Take him. Look, what do you want for him? I'll give you, look, other than J.J. Watt and DeAndre Hopkins, take what you want. But whatever you do, make sure you get Bill O'Brien too. I mean, come on, seriously. Hot coaching prospect. The guy has been 9-7 3 years in a row, which I know that's a winning record. He's 27-21. When did mediocrity become a good standard for a good football coach? I mean, you got Terry Bradshaw telling us that a guy who's won over 10 games a season for 10 years is not a good coach, but all of a sudden a guy who's 9-7 for 3 years is a great prospect. Give me a break. I mean, I should have stayed in bed. I mean, wow, that's just priceless. I will say this. If Bill O'Brien and they're writing the article as if it would be a joint decision. If Bill O'Brien would want to leave Houston after another 9-7 season and after another early playoff loss, then you don't want a guy like that coaching your team anyway. You don't want a guy who's going to ride off because things aren't going the way he wants them to. You want a guy that's all in. I mean, guess what? Who has to suffer through bad seasons along with the head coach? The players, and most importantly, the fans. You know, the players get paid to suffer through it. The fans pay to suffer through it. You get the difference? I run down there with $55 a week to suffer through a bad season. The players get paid millions to suffer through a bad season. The head coach gets paid millions to suffer through a bad season. We run down there and pay our money to suffer through a bad season. So why is all the attention on poor Bill O'Brien? I mean, goodness gracious, there needs to be an article on all the poor fans who bought into this. I mean, they could have had Lovie Smith. I would have much rather the Lovie Smith bad team than a young hot coaching prospect who everybody sold us on because he came out of New England. I'm just saying. So anyway, we'll see. We'll see what the Texans do come playoff time. It'll be this Saturday, 3:30 at the stadium. I think playoff tickets have already gone on sale. If you weren't fortunate enough to get one, I'm sure it'll be televised. That game, of course, will be sold out. Yours truly, KYOK Sports, the lunch break will be in the house. So we'll give you firsthand on what goes on. I don't know who will be the starter at quarterback. Brock Osweiler, hey, he didn't look bad. Came in, threw for 253 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. He did what I thought he would do down the stretch. I didn't think he was going to lead, the team to a game-tying touchdown. There's nothing in me that ever saw him as that kind of guy. You could see that out of a Peyton Manning or an Eli Manning or a Andrew Luck or even a Russell Wilson, but there's nothing in Brock Osweiler that makes me think he's ever going to lead a team down the field, march down the field with only minutes or seconds left to play, and then get you a game winner or a game tire. That's Bill O'Brien's guy. That's the guy that Bill O'Brien went and brought into this city. But yet, poor Bill. He's going to be a great coaching prospect if he and the team decides to part ways. So good for him. Good for him. Let's get some music for Bill O'Brien. There you go. Billy. That's my new name for him. 9 and 7 Billy. 9 and 7 Billy, this one's for you. It's Media Monday here on the lunch break. I'm AJ. 281-453-1000. Who's going to be the first caller of the year? 281-453-1000. I do have some text messages in here. I'll get to those next. Right here on the legendary KYOK. It's our sports talk show called The Lunch Break. Poor 9 and 7 Billy. This team could have been 13 and 3, 12 and 4. But poor 9 and 7 Billy. This one's for you, Billy. Thank you, Marlo. I love you too, little sister. Thank you, Dallas. I appreciate you.
It may be hard to believe, but people just like you are already saving money. FeedThePig.org makes it easy. Their simple savings plan teaches you how to start saving without going overboard. So you don't need to ditch the car and start rollerblading to work.
I look ridiculous.
You look ridiculous!
You don't need to start foraging wild berries.
I'm skeptical, but these are actually pretty good.
You don't need to sell your organs on the black market.
Lie back. This is gonna hurt.
Yeah, that hurts.
You don't need to rent out your apartment to drifters.
I made a fire with the wood in your bedroom.
That's my dresser!
And your closet door.
You just need an internet connection. Don't get left behind. Start your personal savings plan with the tips and tools on feedthepig.org. That way, you don't need to sell all your belongings and live in a commune.
These dungarees belong to all of us now, Tom.
Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
It only takes a minute to find out if you may have prediabetes. And you can do it at doihaveprediabetes.org. But you're probably not going to. Nope. I'm sure you've got a perfectly good excuse. Kids, work. I get it. You're busy. So what better time than now? Let's begin. Raise one finger if you're a man. Ladies, none yet. Oh, count in your head if you're driving. Now, 3 more fingers for everyone over 60, 2 over 50, 1 over 40, 1 more if you're not physically active, another finger if anyone in your family has type 2 diabetes, another if you've got high blood pressure. If you're overweight, raise another finger, 2 if you're very overweight, and 3 if you're really overweight. You've just taken the world's first audio pre-diabetes test. And if you're holding up 5 or more fingers, visit doihaveprediabetes.org or talk to your doctor. There's no excuse because prediabetes can be reversed.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its pre-diabetes awareness partners.
On KYOK, hey, it's the lunch break with AJ. It's the lunch break.
Hey, sports fans, this is AJ Jones, and we want to invite you to check out our sports talk show here on the legendary KYOK called The Lunch Break. It happens every Monday through Friday from 12 to 2. And what we do, when you take your lunch, we take it with you. You're eating, and we're talking sports. Be sure to check out our new lineup on Mondays. It's called Media Monday. If you hear about it in the media, you read it, you see it, you want to talk about it, call us on Monday. Tuesday is Texans Tuesday, all things Texans. Wednesday is a winning Wednesday. You can win everything, including the kitchen sink. Thursday is Throwback Thursday. We're going to find out what the legends are doing. What are they doing now? And go back to some of the greatest moments in sports history. And then Friday, of course, is Freestyle Friday, right here on our sports talk show called The Lunch Break. Every Monday through Friday from 12 to 2 here on the legendary KYOK.
All right, we're back on the legendary KYOK. And did you hear my little sample jingle in there? I like it, I like it, I like. Wait till we get that thing mixed down and get it fired up. Now, if you like that, go ahead and give me some feedback. 281-453-1000. That's 281-453-1000. Let me go to the text line. Byron Johnson Sr., my boy, what's going on? Happy New Year to you, man, you and the whole family. It says, I agree, Dre, he's terrible, talking about Bill O'Brien, but I admire the players for playing as well as they have under the circumstances. This is a debacle, but guess what else is crazy? We actually have a chance to win a playoff game by default. Texans #1 fan. You're absolutely right, B. I mean it. You're absolutely right. In spite of Bill O'Brien, this team is probably has its easiest route to the playoffs. I mean, to a playoff win. I said on the last Friday in 2016 that the best thing that could happen to the Texans would be for them to get Oakland in the first round of the playoffs, because Oakland at the time was going to be with Matt McGloin at quarterback. Now, Matt McGloin and Tom Savage, to me, balance each other out. They cancel each other out. So now it comes down to whose defense is better. I give that to the Texans. Then it comes down to whose running game is better. A healthy Lamar Miller, to me, got the edge in that. And then whose special teams was better. That, to me, would have been a wash. 2-2. 2 positive for the Texans versus a couple of washes. That, to me, gave that game to the Texans. Now that they're not even down, they're past Matt McGloin, they're on Connor Cook, the third-string rookie quarterback out of Michigan State, who I got to be honest with you, I have not been very impressed with, even at Michigan State. I got to tell you. But I think it gives the Texans the best chance to win their first playoff game under Bill O'Brien. I do. I think that they're going to beat Oakland. Now, again, if Connor Cook comes in and just manages the game, doesn't try to do too much, does not turn the ball over, and that defense can be that defense, and their special teams can be who they are, and they're pretty good, it'll be a tough game. It won't be a gimme, but I think the Texans can pull it out. Now, if I'm the Texans defense and defensive coordinator, Romeo Crennel, who I think is the team MVP and the team coach of the year, if I'm him, I'm making things real difficult on Connor Cook. I'm not going to let him get comfortable at all. I see the Texans winning that game. I really do. I really do. I see the Texans winning that game. Let me go to the playoff scenario. Might as well get that in now. Playoff scenario for the Texans and everybody else. I don't want that. What is that? No, I don't want y'all to send me push stuff. Yeah. Why do these sites want to push stuff to you? My mom told me to stay away from pushers, All right, so here we go. You got Oakland and Houston Saturday at 3:30 Central. You've got Pittsburgh and Miami in the other wild card game. And then if Miami wins, they go to New England. Or if Miami loses, then you get the winner of Houston and Oakland. All right? You get the winner of Houston and Oakland. All right? If Pittsburgh wins, then you get Pittsburgh going to Kansas City. If not, then you got the winner of Houston and Oakland going to Kansas City. What does that tell me, AJ? What does that tell me? You're rooting for Miami? You're rooting for Miami? That's what it tells you. You're rooting for Miami to beat Pittsburgh. That's what it's telling you. Because you don't want New England in the second round. You'd much rather go to Kansas City. Now, granted, you beat a Kansas City team that was nowhere near at full strength. Kansas City did not have all their great defensive pass rushers, and they certainly didn't have the young man special teams player that has been phenomenal. They didn't have either one of them. He ran another one back yesterday. So this Kansas City team is not the team that you beat earlier this year. But still, I would rather take my chance with Kansas City in Kansas City rather than New England in round 2. So that's what you're looking for right there. You want A, handle your business with Oakland, and then C, you need Miami to beat Pittsburgh. Now, do I think that's what's going to happen? No. But at least that's the chance. That's the route you want to take. All right? All right. So 281-453-1000, 281-453-1000, or text me at 832-949-4420. That's 832-949-4420. Let me see if I got any other comments out there. Yeah, AJ from TFan27. TFan27, what's up, bro? TFan27 says, man, totally agree with you on the Bill O'Brien thing. I don't know why all year long none of the games mattered, but all of a sudden the Tennessee game was the most important game of the season. It was the least important game of the season, and he might have cost us the playoffs. The only thing that's got y'all still, thanks TFan27, the only thing that still got y'all in playoffs, still got y'all with a chance in the playoffs is Oakland. I mean, seriously, Oakland dropping quarterbacks like flies, down from Derek Carr, who was an MVP candidate, to Matt McGloin, who's serviceable. Now you're down to Connor Cook, a rookie who will only be making his second appearance in an NFL game. Yeah, I think I'll go with those chances right there. So once again, like Byron said, believe it or not, you got a great chance in spite of Bill O'Brien to win a playoff game. So I'm like this, man. Remember what I said? The final 3-4 games of the playoffs, win and you're in. Keep winning and you stay in. How about that? Keep winning and you stay in. I don't care how it happens. You want to keep winning so you stay in. Yeah, I mean, I don't care how you do it. You outplay Oakland. Let's see, Byron Johnson says, Dre, we will take New England. Their defense is not that good, and our defense is number 1 in the league. That's our best chance. Just my thoughts. Yeah, B, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to say this to you, with all love and respect, because one thing I know you know defense. I do. I know you know defense. But I got to tell you, New England's defense is one of those defenses that they're better than their stats say. They play big in big games, and they play big in big moments. I had a nephew that said big-time players make big-time plays in big-time games. And that's what New England's defense does. No, they're not number 1 in any statistical category, but they ain't number 32 either. And look at what they're doing right now. Miami was not bad, and Miami had everything to play for. They couldn't even get close. I mean, every time they got close, the defense did something, and the offense shut them down, put points on the board. So I'm just going to say this. In one game with a couple of weeks to prepare, I don't want to see anything from New England. I don't want to see their offense. I certainly don't want to see their defense because they find a way to scheme for that team. I mean, really, seriously. I mean, look at what that. Well, again, I know it was week 3, so I won't use that as an example. But I go back to yesterday's game with Miami. I really thought Miami was going to rise up and take that game, and man, when I tell you, it wasn't close. Score-wise, it was, but that was garbage stuff by Miami at the end. Every time they got close, New England's defense got to stop, and offense put points on the board. So I'm just saying, man, New England right now is built for this. They're built for this. They're like the Spurs. The Spurs, they play well during the regular season. Don't get me wrong, but they're built for the playoffs. They're built for the playoffs. And that's New England. The head coach is built for the playoffs. The offensive coordinator is built for the playoffs. Their defense is built for the playoffs. And they're healthy. I don't know, bro. I want to see New England at the last possible time I can get them. Normally I'm like this. My dad taught me this a long time ago. Get the hard stuff done first. Everything else will be easy. I say that for everything else but New England. Get New England the last possible chance that you can get them. Let somebody else wear them out, and then you finish them off. Let them bang with Pittsburgh, or again, we need Miami to win, but let them bang with Miami again. That's an inter-division rival, and Miami kind of know. Let Ndamukong Suh beat up on LeGarrette Blount, and let him beat up on Tom Brady some. Let him do his thing with them. And then let the Texans ride in and get the victory. It's my thought. So we'll see. We'll see. Either way it goes, it ain't going to be pretty. It's going to be a hard-fought, kind of thing. Imagine this. What if, and this is just a what if. What if the Texans make it all the way to New England, and then they just lay out for New England? I mean, they lay out. They give it everything they got, and then they have nothing left for the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? Let's get New England as worn down as possible and then go ahead and knock them out in the AFC Championship game, and then we can take our chances with whoever's on the other side of the NFC. Just my thoughts. I say get them when they don't even see you coming. Let them have a hard, emotional win over Miami. And again, Miami's riding in with a backup quarterback, Matt Moore. There's still rumor though, and I don't think he's going to be back that soon. But there's still some thought that Ryan Tannehill could be back. They're saying late playoffs, early, possible Super Bowl. Guy's coming off of a broken leg. Am I right? I don't know. That must be a hairline fracture. I don't know. I don't know what broken leg. You can start running around a football field and playing again like in 4, 5, 6 weeks. So I don't know. But again, let Miami expose some things about New England that we can see and try and exploit ourselves before we get in there. It's like the leadoff hitter. Let the leadoff hitter make the pitcher throw all of his pitches, so that we can see how to handle them in the late innings. To me, just me. All right, look, let's go ahead and put this first hour on the books and get the second hour underway. Man, first hour of the lunch break in 2017. I'm feeling it. I'm loving it, and hope you are too. Appreciate all your comments. Here's another song for Billy 9 and 7. 9 and 7 Billy. Talking about Bill O'Brien. Here you go, Billy.
1140 KYOK on release of The Legend continues. Here's A.J. Jones with sports on 1140 KYOK.
Say, hey, hey, it's the lunch break with AJ. Hey, hey, it's the lunch break on KYOK. Hey, hey, it's the lunch break with AJ. It's the lunch break.
I love that. I'm going to play that forever. I am. I love it. We're going to mix that down in the studio and get that thing just tight and right. But anyway, 281-453-1000, 281-453-1000, get you on the program. Just like that, first hour on the books, second hour underway, right here on the legendary KYOK. I'm AJ Jones. We do what we do every Monday through Friday from 12 to 2. In 2017, when you take your break for lunch, we're going to take it with you. You'll be talking, you'll be working or working out or eating or, whatever you're going to do for lunch in 2017. I know a lot of folks are going to be trying to get in shape. Myself the same, going to try and get this ab together. Might try and run a 5K. Got some things I want to do this year. And going to get in there and get them done. But we're going to be talking sports with you, and we appreciate you for allowing us to do it on the lunch break. Now, today is our Media Monday. That's anything that you see on any of the social media sites like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. Might even be some of the favorite team websites. Like we pulled some stuff off of CBS Sports and got some stuff off of the Texans website and all that kind of good stuff. But anyway, we got those for you. You bring those in. We'll talk about them on Media Monday. Tuesday is our Texans Touchdown Tuesday. That's all things Texans, all things football. We talk about those on Tuesday. I'm going to have the Bill O'Brien latest interview tomorrow because that press conference is going to take place about 2:30 today, and I'll try and get all the audio I can from that. I don't know if you want to hear his press conference from immediately following that 24-17 loss to Tennessee, where they lost their starting quarterback due to a concussion. Now, more than likely, going to have to go back to Brock Osweiler. You remember him, the $72 million man who played like he was a $7.24 million penny man, not million, penny. But anyway, worst quarterback in the NFL statistically, that Brock Osweiler. Yeah, looks like he's going to be leading you into the playoffs. But anyway, we'll talk about those things on Tuesday. Wednesday is still our winning day. That's the day that you can win money, you can win tickets, you can win gift cards, you can win all kinds of stuff on Wednesday. New terms and conditions. If it's a prize that can't be left at will call, then you got to come and pick it up. That's right, you got to come into the studio Monday through Friday from 12 to 2 and pick that up, and then you can go ahead and enjoy your prize. Now, you also will have 7 days to pick it up. So if you win it on a Monday, you got to get it by that next Monday. All right? And then, of course, if it's tickets or something like that, we'll try and leave those at will call. All you got to do is go down to the event, go to the will call office with your ID, and you can pick up your winnings there. All right, so that's Winning Wednesday. Thursday is still going to be our throwback day, but we're going to add some things to that. It's going to be kind of interesting. I'll leave that as a surprise for you. But Thursday is the day that we go back to an old player, an old coach, an old time, and we bring it back, and we want to make you say, man, I remember that, or man, I forgot about that, or man, I didn't know anything about that. Either way it goes, we want to be the ones to inform you, educate you, and remind you. And then, of course, Friday, best day of the week. Freestyle Friday is the day where you can get all of it or none of it on Freestyle Friday because it can go any which way it wants. I tell you to put the kids up on Freestyle Friday because it could go there. So, again, happy 2017, everybody. Hope it was a good entry into 2017. Hope nobody suffered any injuries or hardship. You know, I was amazed, though, still at the number of incidents regarding celebratory shooting. I just don't get that. What makes you want to shoot guns in the air on New Year's Eve, you know, to celebrate New Year's, you know, the new year? Bullets go up and bullets come down. And there's even a legislator in South Texas, Weslaco area, that had a celebratory bullet lodged in his head. I mean, come on, y'all. I mean, you know, you might not think you were the one, but it very well could have been your bullet. If you were not smart enough not to not shoot your gun off on New Year's Eve, guess what? It might be your bullet that was lodged in this man's head. You know, there was another family that had a bullet land right in the middle of their room when they and their family, their kids, were all in there watching TV, or I think the New Year's Day Eve celebration. And here's a bullet right in the middle of the floor. Kids in the room. I mean, it's always oh, I didn't mean it after the fact. Just don't do it. I mean, seriously, just don't do it. Do me a favor. Go out and get a $10 pack of firecrackers and shoot those off. How about that? Man, just stuff that can be avoided, that people don't avoid. I don't get that. Don't shoot your gun off. You want to shoot a gun? Go to a firing range and fire off 217 shots in the firing range. Do that. But in the air, come on, y'all. Come on, man. 2017. I hope everybody made it safely. 281-453-1000, 281-453-1000, or you can text us at 832-949-4420. That's 832-949-4420. As I said in the earlier segment, Bill O'Brien pulled a Bill O'Brien. That's my new thing. Bill O'Brien is going to become a verb. It's going to become a verb. Man, you really Bill O'Brien that one. That's where, you make something out of nothing. You make something bigger than it needs to be or harder than it needs to be. That's Bill O'Brien it. That's what we're going to call on this show, Bill O'Brien it. Now it's a verb. Boy, you really Bill O'Brien that one. Yep. So anyway, Bill O'Brien tried to convince everybody that Sunday's matchup with Tennessee was the most important game. It had to have 10 wins. Had to have 10 wins. Never mind that it did not improve the playoff position in any way. It did not make them get into the playoffs. They would not have gotten out of the playoffs had they lost. It meant nothing other than it had to be played because it was on the schedule. And Bill O'Brien put 6 players inactive, 6 starters. And then he left his quarterback in. And then he decided to run him on a quarterback sneak. And sure enough, he got dinged up. Referees had to stop play and pull him out and have him be evaluated by the concussion folks. And he passed the test. He did. I'm not going to lie. He passed the test. But then Bill O'Brien, smart guy, Bill O'Brien that one, brought him back in and let him kneel down to run out the clock for the half. And going off the field, he told the reporter, Tom Savage is going to start the third quarter. Okay. Well, they reevaluated him and decided he couldn't play. And now, guess what? It's out of Bill O'Brien's hands. It's now in the NFL concussion protocol's hands. There is a very good chance. It's not impossible now. I'm not saying that it can't happen, but there's a very good chance that he won't be able to play come Saturday. It's a short week. He's not going to be able to practice. He won't be able to play come Saturday because of that decision. So guess what? Guess who had to come in and save the day? Brock Osweiler. Threw for 253 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions in the second half. They ended up losing 24-17 to Tennessee. Again, it affected nothing. They still won the AFC South. Them and Tennessee had the same record, but they won all the tiebreakers. They beat Tennessee in the early season, and then they had a better division record. So, nothing was lost other than your starting quarterback. So now we'll have to find out. We'll have to wait to find out who's going to be the starter when the Texans host Oakland Saturday at 3:30. Raiders also lost their quarterback, Matt McGloin, to a shoulder injury. And McGloin was already filling in for Derek Carr. So now the Raiders are down to Connor Cook at quarterback. Now, I know everybody wants to get excited and say, oh, we got this one in the bag. Let me just tell you, don't do that. Don't do. Remember that. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and hurt some feelings. Y'all ready? If you're an old Oiler fan, you might want to turn your radio down. Remember when Frank Reich came in for the Buffalo Bills when the Oilers were up? I think they were up 28-7 or 28-0, something crazy. Playoff game. And sure enough, Frank Reich led the Bills all the way back and eliminated the Oilers from playoffs. Stranger things have happened, y'all, so please don't make the mistake of thinking we got this one because Connor Cook versus Derek Carr is the quarterback. You still got to play your game. Your defense still has to play its game. Your offense still has to find points. And I got news for you. Texans don't find many of them. So I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer or, as Renee calls me, the Texans hater, but your head coach is Bill O'Brien, and he will Bill O'Brien in it. He will find a way to make it harder than it needs to be. I mean, seriously, what game this year, y'all go with Byron, all you guys, go with me. What game this year have the Texans just won hands down? I mean, no question about it. None of them. None of them. They only beat Jacksonville by, 3? None of them. There was no hands down, just easy win for them this year. Every game was a battle. I know you can blame the quarterback. Oh, it's because of the quarterback. We paid him way too much money. I guarantee you his salary did not cause him to play poorly. Nope. I won't buy that. Game plans cause you to play poorly. Who puts in the game plan? Your coach. There's a published report out there that Bill O'Brien and the Texans might part ways. I don't believe it. Jay Glazer of Fox Sports Insider, and Will Brinson of CBS Sports write that even though the Texans have been 9-7 for the last 3 years, Bill O'Brien is a hot commodity and folks are going to want him like crazy. And Bill O'Brien has been hamstrung by bad quarterback play in Houston. That right there is garbage. The other part is possibly true. But hamstrung by bad quarterback play, if he's been hamstrung by bad quarterback play, it's because of the quarterbacks he's picked. Remember, he drafted Tom Savage 3 years ago. He had Fitzpatrick and Case Keenum and those guys. But then he went out and got Brian Hoyer. He went out and got Ryan Mallett. He went out and brought those guys in. So you can't be hamstrung by bad people that you picked. And then he brought in Osweiler. So if he's been hamstrung by bad quarterback play, it's because that's how he evaluates quarterbacks. But anyway, the rest of it, him possibly going to another place where he has less pressure and more freedom, that might be. I can see him doing that. He strikes me as a guy who wants to have all the control. He strikes me as a guy who wants to be in charge of everything. And the way the Texans are set up, that's not the way it is for him. He's got to go through Rick Smith. He's got to go through a vice president, and he's got to go through the owner. So maybe he will want to go to, Buffalo, or maybe he will want to go to San Diego. In fact, we'll talk about that, the openings that are available right now. I mean, I can see him going to San Francisco and being the man out there, I mean, that ownership out there is just, the Yorks, I don't know what they're doing. But anyway, the Rams maybe, they like those kind of guys that are, egotistical and narcissistic. But anyway, so, I don't believe the story. I don't believe that the Texans and O'Brien will part ways. But if they do, it won't be because of bad quarterback play. It will be because he's a bad evaluator of quarterbacks, and he's the guy that wants anybody to run his system as opposed to being smart enough to come up with a system that works for the players that he has. So, again, we're going to keep our eye on the report. We'll see where it goes from there. So, but anyway, real quick, let me talk to you about excuse me. Let me talk to you about the firings over the weekend. Let's go here. Okay, so here we go. Probably the biggest surprise that came out of yesterday was Gary Kubiak, former Texans head coach and current Super Bowl 50 winning head coach, retired yesterday. Retired following their very emotional and big win over Oakland, saying that because of his health and his family's concern about his health, that he's going to be retiring. Now, he said today that he's going to talk specifically about his health, but he wanted yesterday to be all about him and the team. So now the defending Super Bowl 50 champions, a very good organization with plenty of tools, is looking for a head coach. They apparently have their eye on one of their internal people And they're also looking at an assistant coach out of Miami by the name of Vance Joseph, who I'd love to see him get a shot. He's a sharp young man, and we'll see if he won't get a shot. But could Bill O'Brien be a good fit there? Absolutely. I don't know if John Elway and him will get along, because John Elway runs that organization and has the right to run it the way he does. I mean, he's done nothing but good things and taken them to 2 Super Bowls since he's been the general manager there, the VP of operations, however they call his title. So the Denver opening is probably the most surprising. Also, let's see who else we got. San Diego fired their head coach. San Diego fired their head coach. Let's see, and he had a real tough year. He had a real tough year. He hadn't been very good there since he's been there. So Mike Riley is his name, and I don't see Bill O'Brien running out to San Diego. I don't. They're about to move to LA. They're going to share that stadium with the Rams, but I don't foresee a Bill O'Brien situation working out there in San Diego. It's a good job though. They've got some talent. They've got some some stars. They've got some people. They got some people that you can work with. Phillip Rivers is still a very good quarterback. And they've got some good tools around him. So we'll see who takes that job. All right. Then the 49ers, of course, fired Chip Kelly after 1 season. What is going on? And not only did they fire him, but they fired the general manager, the guy who ran Jim Harbaugh out of San Francisco. Not 2 years removed from him taking them to the Super Bowl. I don't know if anybody deserves to be fired, but if anybody deserves to be fired, it's that guy. I mean, how do you run a Super Bowl coach out of town over personality differences? You're running a multi-million-dollar organization. Why are you letting personality differences get in the way of you being a multi-million-dollar organization? So Baalke is his name. He had to go. Trent Baalke had to go. Chip Kelly, I don't know what the deal is with him. Great college coach. I mean, phenomenal college coach. But his college scheme did not translate into the pro game the way everybody thought it would. And, he had a 10-win season in Philly, but after that, not much. And it didn't work in San Francisco. I don't think 1 year is enough to know what a guy can do. But obviously his personality kind of, it just makes people not want to give him more time. So I don't know where he's going to go. I don't know what he's going to do. If I was him, I would head on back to the the college ranks and be that Nick Saban type, and be that big name coach in college football. That's it's up to him. All right, so you got you got Denver, you got the Chargers, San Francisco's open, and then you got the Rams. Why is it that 3 teams that are looking for coaches are all in the same state? 3 teams from the same state looking for coaches. The Los Angeles Rams, of course, they got rid of Jeff Fisher, which, why Jeff Fisher was ever a head coach after his time in Tennessee is a question. But anyway, another good organization. You got your young star quarterback in Jared Goff. You got one of the best running backs in the business, Todd Gurley. And then you've got a very solid defensive line. Their defense is good. Ask Seattle. Seattle has all kinds of trouble with the Rams defense. So there are great tools in LA with the Rams. That's a place where I could see a Bill O'Brien going and working. Now, whether or not Jared Goff is this kind of quarterback, we already know Case Keenum isn't. He doesn't like Case Keenum. But if he goes there and they give him autonomy, they let him be a general manager / head coach type, I think that would be the perfect fit for him. Would be the Rams job, because they're just trying to get people in that brand new stadium, and you'll be sharing the stadium with another team, so the spotlight won't be on you as much as it would if you were the only guy trying to fill up and support that new stadium and trying to bring a championship back to LA. So anyway, that job is available. A couple of other jobs might open up. Like the Bengals might be in play. Whether or not they're ready to move on from Marvin Lewis remains to be seen. I wouldn't. I said it earlier in the first hour. I would not move on from Marvin Lewis if I were the Cincinnati Bengals. He had a string of almost 6 straight years of playoff appearances. Granted, they did not win a playoff game. I don't think that's all on Marvin Lewis. Everybody as a fan is so quick to say, yeah, we don't want this guy. He can't win playoff games, what have you. But I don't think that would be the case. The Saints may be an opening as well. The Saints all year long have been talking about trading Sean Payton, their current head coach, to another team for draft choices or players or whatever the case may be. I'm a diehard Saint fan. I'm like the Saints, like some of you all about the Texans. And I'll tell you, I'm ready for them to blow it up. I'm ready for them to take Drew Brees and Sean Payton and just do something different. Get what you can for them while you can. I mean, if you can get a number one or 2 number ones, because if you think about it, what did Washington give up to get RG3? Didn't they give up a couple of number ones and a number 2 or something like that? I remember Jerry Jones gave up 2 number ones for Roy Williams, wide receiver out of UT. So, there's 2 first-round draft choices at least that you could get for either Sean Payton or Drew Brees, if not both of them. The Saints could use that. I mean, seriously. There's serviceable quarterbacks out there. There are young quarterbacks out there. If I were the Saints, I would give New England whatever they wanted for Jimmy Garoppolo. I would. I would give them whatever they wanted for Jimmy G. And if they don't want to give up Jimmy G, then what do you want for Jacoby Brissett? And I would build my organization around that young quarterback. I really would. And I would take that and I would get an offensive line that was as big and as bad as Dallas's. And I would take my chances with that. But the Saints can't keep doing what they're doing and expect things to be different. I'll give you an example. For the 5th time in his career, Drew Brees has thrown for over 5,000 yards. How many winning seasons have they had when he's thrown for over 5,000 yards? See my point? All those stats are great, but they don't translate into wins. Sean Payton has been a coaching quote-unquote genius and he brought a Super Bowl to New Orleans. Can't knock that. But what's he done since then? It just might be time for different scenery. So I would trade both of them for whatever I could get for them, build that offensive line, get some help on defense, and go from there. All right, so that franchise could be in play. Indianapolis could be in play as well. The Colts. Apparently, the owner is not happy that they finished 8-8 again right after they gave all that money to Andrew Luck. And I got to tell you, Chuck Pagano has really been a disappointment as a head coach. Remember, when he had cancer and all that, it was Bruce Arians that led them to all those wins and ended up getting him Coach of the Year as an interim head coach. He won the Coach of the Year award. But, all that love and good feeling was there for Chuck Pagano. And I got to be honest with you, as a coach, he hasn't done anything. I mean, he has minimized a pretty decent organization, an organization that had decades of winning seasons and winning the AFC South. And they just haven't been relative and relevant in the last couple of years. So the Colts could be an opening. And you talk about a good franchise, the Colts could be a good spot. And I'm not talking about for Bill O'Brien. Hear me when I say I'm not Bill O'Brien's headhunter or agent. I'm not trying to find him a good job. He needs to go and find a place to learn how to be a better coach to me. But that Colts job would be a very, very good job for someone to have. Jacksonville. Remember Jacksonville fired their coach this year, Gus Bradley. And, they've got an interim head coach right now, but they haven't given him the job yet. They haven't gone through the right channels to give him the job. So Jacksonville is also another opening that is out there. So quite a few jobs, quite a few opportunities, but we'll see where things go. I'm going to keep my eye on the whole Bill O'Brien possibly parting ways with the Texans if they are an early round out in the playoffs. I don't believe that story. You know, I'm not that I doubt Jay Glazer. I just don't believe. I think it sounds like more speculation than it does reality. So I'm not going to just run with that. But anyway, we'll see. We'll see what goes on there. All right, you know, we've talked AFC. Let's talk about the Cowboys and what they need to do when we come back. Going to take another break here on the lunch break. Hit me up, 281-453-1000. That's 281-453-1000. Let me kind of go to the text line again. I know Byron Johnson had some other stuff that he added in here. Let me see what my brother is talking about right here. Oh, yeah, okay, Byron said, hey, true that. Won't disagree. Good point, trying to keep hope alive. When I said that we'll let Miami go in and soften up Tennessee. I mean, soften up New England. Jasal said, the laws of physics, man. What goes up must come down. These idiots have no clue. Talking about people shooting their guns up in the air. Man, I tell you what, that's one of those things, man. Just leave that alone. If you can't afford fireworks, do me a favor. Don't spread your bullets. We don't need any more of those. We'll be back with more right here on the lunch break. 2017, what up? Water things, man.
I'm Tiffany. I have some tips for you on how to quit smoking like I did. First, I did some reading about it. I found a lot of great advice on how to quit smoking and picked out the ways I thought would work best for me. I started by setting a quit date. Then I threw out my ashtrays, lighters, and matches. I did other things too, like exercising more, and it worked. But I'd still get cravings, especially on long car rides. To help me with that, I put a picture of my mother in my car. She died of lung cancer from smoking cigarettes when I was only 16. Now I have a 16-year-old daughter. That picture of my mother reminds me that I don't want to miss all the things my daughter is going to do in her life, including turning 17.
You can quit. For free help, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and CDC.
As an 18-year-old, I let my mistakes kind of take over my life. I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it.
10 years later, at age 28, Jackie finished her high school diploma.
When I found out that I was pregnant, I know that I had to do something for myself if I wanted to make her a better person and provide a better life for her. My family never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew what I could become and who I could become as a person. My support team is amazing. The educational director, my sister, and even my 7-year-old daughter has just been more than the support that I could ask for. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Most of my family.
Hey, hey, it's the lunch break with AJ. Hey, hey, it's the lunch break on KYOK. Hey, it's the lunch break with AJ. It's the lunch break.
Hey, sports fans, this is AJ Jones, and we want to invite you to check out our sports talk show here on the legendary KYOK called The Lunch Break. It happens every Monday through Friday from 12 to 2. And what we do, when you take your lunch, we take it with you. You're eating, and we're talking sports. Be sure to check out our new lineup on Mondays. It's called Media Monday. If you hear about it in the media, you read it, you see it, you want to talk about it, call us on Monday. Tuesday is Texans Tuesday, all things Texans. Wednesday is a winning Wednesday. You can win everything, including the kitchen sink. Thursday is Throwback Thursday. We're going to find out what the legends are doing. What are they doing now? And go back to some of the greatest moments in sports history. And then Friday, of course, is Freestyle Friday right here on our sports talk show called The Lunch Break. Every Monday through Friday from 12 to 2 here on the legendary KYOK.
All right, we're here on the legendary KYOK. Man, things flying by on this first Monday in 2017. We call it Media Monday, and I'm glad to be a part of it with you. Hope you had a great welcome to 2017, and that, you know, things weren't too bad for you, and you were able to kind of get done what you needed to get done. I know I really enjoyed mine. So, again, welcome 2017. We're going to shake your pockets and see what all you got to bear. And I mean it. I'm looking for everything good. All that's good and perfect comes from, yeah. Anyway, so that's what we got going on. We've been talking at length about your Houston Texans and what they got going on. Well, there's another side of the coin as well, and that is none other than the NFC. That's where the Dallas Cowboys own the number 1 seed all the way throughout the playoffs, so they don't have to leave the state of Texas if they are going to make it to the Super Bowl. They'll play all of their early round games in Dallas in their own stadium, and then if they make it to the Super Bowl, they come to Houston. All right, so that means Detroit is going to play Seattle in the wild card weekend. Detroit going to play Seattle in the wild card weekend because they lost to Green Bay last night for the division. Green Bay ended up winning the division thanks to a 31-24 win over the Lions. But, hey, the Lions going back to the playoffs. And, you know, for the folks up there in Detroit, I got a lot of love for you. I got a lot of sympathy for you. I know that they have not won a playoff game in decades. So we'll see if they can get by Seattle in Seattle. I don't think they can. But, anyway, that game will be on Saturday night at 7:15. Saturday night at 7:15, it'll be Detroit visiting the Seattle Seahawks. All right, and then the other NFC game on Sunday at 3:40 Central. At 3:40 Central, you've got the New York Giants visiting the Green Bay Packers. New York Giants visiting the Green Bay Packers. And I'm going to tell you this. There is one team that I don't want to see during the playoffs, and that's the New York Giants. I know everybody talks about Aaron Rodgers. Let me just say this. There's one team that I do not want to see during the playoffs is the New York Giants, because, you know, all those years when everybody was talking about the undefeated Patriots, who was the team that knocked them off? The New York Giants. When, you know, the Patriots weren't undefeated, but they were the team to beat. Who beat them? The New York Giants. So, I don't know. Maybe Aaron Rodgers won't have that same kind of issue with Eli Manning and the Giants that Tom Brady and the Patriots seem to have. But I will say this, that's not going to be an easy game. And I don't care if it's on the road. I don't care if it's at home. The Giants are one of those teams, they are just glad to be in the playoffs, and they play like they are trying to win them. So for all you Packer fans out there, I'm just letting you know, don't be counting that one as a victory just because you got the Giants and they didn't win the division. Again, the Giants have won the championship from the wild card spot. So, that's going to be an interesting game. And, Aaron Rodgers probably, hopefully, let me throw this in real quick as an aside. If they're not going to give the MVP award to Dak Prescott, which they should, long as you don't give it to Tom Brady, I don't care. I mean, Tom Brady, to me, just cannot and should not win that award this year. You cannot be suspended for violating the rules of your league and then turn around and win the league's highest honor. You just can't do it. I don't care if you perform. I don't care what the case may be. You cannot win the league's highest honor when you were suspended for violating the rules of the league. So give it to Matt Ryan. Give it to Aaron Rodgers. Give it to Derek Carr. I don't care. Give it to Ezekiel Elliott. That's who should get it. Or Dak Prescott, but you don't give it to Tom Brady. But anyway, so Aaron Rodgers probably got himself back in the wild card. in the MVP discussion because of the 4 touchdowns that he threw last night with no interceptions. All right, now, so let me give you the other games from this weekend, and I'll give you my Keeping Up with the Joneses segment as well. You got, again, the Texans hosting Oakland Saturday in the early game. That game will be at 3:35 Central. 3:35 Central right here in Houston. Houston going to host Oakland. Now, it says that that's going to be on ESPN. I do believe that game is going to be televised on another local network as well. I could be wrong, but we'll find out for sure. And then again, the late game on Saturday will be Detroit visiting Seattle. That'll be about 7:15. 7:15. That game will be on NBC. Then on Sunday, the early game at 12:05 will be Miami versus Pittsburgh. That one will be on CBS, and it will be followed by the New York Giants visiting Green Bay at 3:40 on Fox. 3:40 on Fox. Yours truly, the lunch break, will be in the house on Saturday for that Texans-Oakland game, and we will bring you all of the commentary following that game. All right, so real quick, in our Keeping Up with the Joneses segment, let's see what our final winning percentage was. Got to give that to you real quick because we had an amazing year. Okay, so all right, here we go. We won 176 games. Let me write this down because nobody's going to believe it but me. I was right 176 times this year, 176, and we were only wrong 80 times. 176 right, 80 wrong. 176 right, 80 wrong. So let me see. 176 divided by 256. We had a 68.75 winning percentage this year. 69%. I was right 69% of the times this year. And again, that's not Vegas stuff. That's not betting and gambling and all that. Don't do any of that stuff. I like my money too much to just give it away and to gamble it and that kind of stuff. I mean that. I've told you before, I was on a dinner cruise one time. They had gambling, and I put a couple of nickels in a machine. I think I lost 15 cents, and I was calling the manager. Hey, this thing is broken. It didn't give me anything back. And so for a couple of hours, I was trying to jump out of a window because You know, what else do you do on a dinner cruise that gambles when you don't gamble? You know, you swim, right? But anyway, so that is not my thing. But 176 versus 80 times I was wrong. I'll take that all day long. I mean, come on, that's good stuff right there. That'll play anywhere in the world. All right, so great year on keeping up with the Joneses. Again, let me give you my playoff picks. My playoff picks again for this weekend for keeping up with the Joneses are as follows. I've got the Texans over Oakland. I've got Seattle over Detroit. Sorry, Texans fans. I got Pittsburgh over Miami. And I'll go with the upset. I'll go with the Giants over Green Bay. I'll go with the Giants over Green Bay in the wild card weekend. I'll go with the Giants over Green Bay. Let me tell you what would happen if the Giants do beat Green Bay. Let's go back to our playoff scenarios. All right, so the NFC, again, Cowboys #1 seed, Atlanta #2 seed. Again, you got Detroit #6 going to #3 Seattle, and the Giants #5 going to #4 Green Bay. So if Detroit was to beat Seattle, they would play the Cowboys in the second round of the playoffs. If Seattle was to win, they would play Atlanta. All right, so if Seattle wins, it'll be Seattle and Atlanta, or it will be the winner of Green Bay versus the Giants at Dallas. And if you're a Dallas fan, you got to want the Giants to be coming to town. You owe them. The only two real losses, I won't count the last week of the season, them losing to Philly. I mean, they did the right thing. They let Dak Prescott play a little bit, got him out, and then they brought in some Tony Romo. He threw a touchdown pass, looked good, 3 out of 4 for 29 yards and a touchdown. And then they brought in Brandon Weeden, and not Brandon Weeden, they brought in Mark Sanchez, and he promptly threw 2 interceptions. So we know who Mark Sanchez is. But anyway, they didn't win. They lost. They lost to Philly by the score of 27-13. They finished the year, 14-3. That's not right. They finished 13-3, didn't they? Yeah, 13-3. That's a good season for the Cowboys, bouncing back from the years that they had. So I want the Giants to come to town and avenge those other 2 losses. I know Dak Prescott wouldn't mind that. I don't, Aaron Rodgers doesn't concern me against Dallas because Dallas does some smart things. Dallas might not have the top defense in a statistical category like the Texans do, but Dallas plays smart defense. They don't get beaten for big plays. They don't, their defensive line, they're a bunch of no-name guys. Randy Gregory's back. That's good. But they're a bunch of no-name guys who, all they do is stay in their lane and do their jobs. And guess what? With Aaron Rodgers, that's what you want to do. That's exactly what you got to do against an Aaron Rodgers team. Now, what you got to understand is the Packers, they're using fullbacks for running backs because their running backs have been decimated. They turned a wide receiver into a running back, and then they got a guy who's bounced around the league. In fact, he was with the Cowboys, Christian Michael. They've got him as one of the running backs. So, I'll give edge to the Cowboys in the running back spot if Green Bay comes to town. None of their guys combined is one Ezekiel Elliott. So, the Cowboys have the kind of offense that can keep the ball out of Aaron Rodgers' hands. And that's how you beat Green Bay. You give him fewer opportunities and you shut him down with the opportunities that he has. Now, somebody's going to have to guard Jordy Nelson. He's healthy again, and that young man gets open. But if I'm the Cowboys, I'd rather the Giants come to town and let somebody else have their shot with Green Bay. So it's just my thought about that. So anyway, let's go ahead and take a break. We got about 15 minutes before the Donnie McClurkin show. First Donnie McClurkin show of 2017 will be up at the top of the hour at 2 o'clock. But right now, let's go ahead and get a little break going. It is the lunch break. We'll come back with a sports update and our weather, and then our very first nothing to do with sports segment of 2017, right here on the legendary KYOK. It's the lunch break. Happy 2017. Welcome.
Chris, can you put the video game controller down for a second?
I can talk and play. Oh, I'm totally annihilating this punk kid in Nebraska.
I just feel like you're not acting like a grown-up in our relationship.
Am too.
Well, you still ride your skateboard to work, there's the comic book collection, the race car bed.
Look, I'm young at heart, but I put money into my 401k every paycheck. I picked up a few savings tips at feedthepig.org. I have control over my financial life now, and that feels pretty grown up.
Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. Putting some money from every paycheck into a savings account or contributing to your 401k can make a big difference later. For free ideas and easy tips on ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
So, I bet I look like a grown-up to you now.
Well, except for the footy pajamas, I'd have to agree.
Hey, sports fans, this is AJ Jones, and we want to invite you to check out our sports talk show here on the legendary KYOK called The Lunch Break. It happens every Monday through Friday from 12 to 2, and what we do, when you take your lunch, we take it with you. You're eating, and we're talking sports. Be sure to check out our new lineup on Mondays. It's called Media Monday. If you hear about it in the media, you read it, you see it, you want to talk about it, call us on Monday. Tuesday is Texans Tuesday, all things Texans. Wednesday is a winning Wednesday. You can win everything, including the kitchen sink. Thursday is Throwback Thursday. We're going to find out what the legends are doing. What are they doing now? And go back to some of the greatest moments in sports history. And then Friday, of course, is Freestyle Friday, right here on our sports talk show called The Lunch Break. Every Monday through Friday from 12 to 2 here on the legendary KYOK.
All right, we're back here on the legendary KYOK with our sports talk show called The Lunch Break. I'm AJ Jones, and getting ready to wrap this first show of 2017 up with our Media Monday. As I said before the break, we got our sports update, and then we're going to get into our Nothing to Do with Sports segment and our weather. So let me go ahead and give you our KYOK sports update for today. Of course, I hate to say their final regular game of the season, 24-17, and also lost possibly their starting quarterback, Tom Savage, to a concussion. Now, Savage left the game and had to be evaluated, was able to come back in, but reevaluated at halftime and unable to play due to a concussion. He is now in the NFL concussion protocol. Brock Osweiler came in second half, threw for 253 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions, but we've got to wait now to find out who's going to be the starter when they host Oakland Saturday at 3:35 in round 1 of the playoffs. The Raiders also lost Matt McGloin, who is their current starting quarterback, to a shoulder injury. They will go with rookie Connor Cook. Cowboys ended their regular season with a 27-13 loss to Philly, but they had 0 injuries. Tony Romo went 3 for 4, 29 yards and a touchdown, and they will have a first-round bye, so they will be off this coming weekend. All right, in college football playoffs, number 1 Alabama beat up on number 4 Washington 24-7. They will now face number 2 Clemson, who blanked number 3 Ohio State 31-0. I do not remember Ohio State getting beaten that bad in a meaningful game. I don't know where they go from here. Braxton Miller, of course, is gone. Their current quarterback, I don't know. I don't know if he is the answer or not. So we'll see what the Ohio State does to bounce back. Again, number 1 Alabama versus number 2 Clemson for the national championship. That'll be next Monday night. All right, San Antonio fell 114-112 to Atlanta in overtime over the weekend. LaMarcus Aldridge, 27 points, 13 rebounds. They will host Toronto tomorrow at 7:30. But the Rockets got 53 points, 17 assists, and 16 rebounds from James Harden in their 129-122 win over the New York Knicks on Saturday night. What a game. I mean, that's Wilt Chamberlain style numbers right there. 53 points, 17 assists, and 16 rebounds. Again, James Harden keep playing like that, going to be hands down the league MVP. All right, they're going to try and get another win when they host Washington tonight at 7 o'clock. Keep your eye on the UT Longhorns basketball team. They lost again to K-State, 65-62. We went from having 2 African-American head coaches at UT for the first time ever in Shaka Smart in basketball and Charlie Strong in football Charlie Strong's already gone. Shock and Smart not going to be around long if they keep losing the way that they are right now. I think they're sub 500 right now. All right, so that's your sports update right here on the lunch break. Let's go ahead and get a weather update. Right now, it is sunny out with a high of 74. Right now, it's 71. Tonight, it's going to be clear with a low of 54. 0% chance of more rain, 52% humidity, which means it still feels like it's 71 outside. Tomorrow, it is going to be sunny with a high of 77, low of 48. Again, 0% chance of rain tomorrow. All right, that's your weather update. Let's go ahead and get into our segment that is called...
Hey, that has nothing to do with sport.
That's right. It's our segment, Nothing to Do with Sports. You got it right here in 2017, our first of the season. And it comes from a sister who says, AJ, do you make New Year's resolutions? And if so, what are they? Well, I gotta be honest with you, I don't make New Year's resolutions. I evaluate every year at the end of the year because my birthday's at the end of the year, and I look back and I say, what did I accomplish? What did I do well? What didn't I do well? And what didn't I accomplish? I mean, if this had been my last year in life, what kind of mark will I have left on my last year in life? And based on that, I will set goals for myself, but I don't believe in resolutions. I do believe in goal setting. And, and I believe in that scripturally, okay? So I do have some goals coming into this year, but they are far from resolutions. I'm like this, when you make resolutions and then by the third week of the month or the fifth week of the year or whatever the case may be, you're already off track. A lot of people feel like, their year is already a wash. I don't set myself up for those kind of disappointments and what have you. Goal setting is something that I take very seriously. I put a plan in place for each one of my goals. It's not just words on paper. A lot of people will do vision boards and stuff like that. Those are great, but I try to have a plan in place. I try to have benchmarks in place. I try to assign, who do I need to be able to go to complete this goal? What's it going to cost me to be able to complete that goal? Where can I get the money from to complete the goal? And then I manage myself accordingly. It's almost like a to-do list, but it's my to-do list for the rest of the year. So there you go. I'm not a resolution person. I'm a goal setter, and I also set my goals with plans to make those goals come to pass. Hope that answered your question on our segment.
Hey, that has nothing to do with sport.
All right, well, you got it right here on the legendary KYOK. Oh, man, I tell you what, I really enjoyed the first show of the year. I really enjoyed the first show of the year. I can't wait to get back tomorrow for a Texans Touchdown Tuesday if things go the way I want them to. Look, all you late lunchers, clock back in. Don't want you late for lunch on the first Monday in 2017. Don't want to start out like that, right? But like I said, if things go the way I want them to, I'll be back tomorrow for Texans Touchdown Tuesday. We'll hear what Bill O'Brien's got to say. He's got a press conference coming up in about 30 minutes. Donnie McClurkin coming up in the next 4 minutes. I love to hear what he's got to say. The Donnie McClurkin show's next. Well, just like we ended last year, we're going to start this year with the same way. Like this song says, smile. Doesn't cost you anything, doesn't hurt. You'll be surprised how much you like it. Get one for yourself and do me a favor, get another one and give it away. That's going to do it for me. I'm AJ on the legendary KYOK. I'm out. Hey, y'all, hope you enjoyed the first show of 2017. We got some really big things in store for you this year, so do me a favor, hang in here with me, and whatever you do, don't remain silent. Let me hear from you. Call me, text me, stream with me, whatever you got to do. Put something on the stream down there, and I promise you, I'll try and read it or get it out to all of our listening audience. As I ended last year, with this year starting off, if you need a good web designer so that your goals can be met, check out my girl, I'mAllisonDenise.com. And if you're interested in losing some weight this year, do me a favor, get at me, leave me a message, get in my inbox. I've got a way where you can lose weight this week. I'm serious about it. I wouldn't say it if it didn't work. I've tried a lot of things. I've investigated a lot of things. This is the real deal. So if you want to lose weight, start out this year healthy, naturally, 100% natural, get in my inbox. I've got something for you, all right? All right, hey, have a blessed day. We'll see you tomorrow. Lord said the same. God bless.